Hi there, my name is Anne, and in this video I'm going to draw with every red art supply I own. I know I'm kind of late to this trend, but I've always wanted to try it, so I thought, why not just do it? I don't really know who started this challenge, but I do know that Drawing with Waffles popularized this one. So when I watch her videos, I really love all the outcomes and all the pictures she ends up making because they look so good. I know this is going to be a challenge for me because I don't really know anything about color theory and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't really know like from warm tones and cool tones and the difference between kinds of red. So we'll see how this turns out, I guess. So yeah, let's get started. And the first thing that I want to do is actually go through my collection and look for all of my art supplies, because I do know that I have a lot of reds. So yeah, let's get started. So, most of my art supplies are either in one or two places. You have on top of my desk, and according to IKEA, it's a fiala, which according to Google Translate is a desk holder. I don't know English words. Anyway, on there I have a few red pens and a lot of my Stabilo pens / Hema pens for my bullet journaling. Then we immediately go to the only drawer that holds my art supplies in my drawer unit, which is this one. And as you can see, it's a mess. In there I mostly have colored pencils which were passed on to me. Like, some of these things I've had since I was a literal child. The only things that I bought specifically for my art / this channel are my watercolor paints, my gouache paints, and the colored pencils that aren't in this drawer but right next to it with all my papers. All of the rest I've accumulated over the years and were passed on to me or given to me for like birthdays and stuff. Okay, now that I've got all my red art supplies, it's time to swatch them. And remember how I said in the beginning that I didn't know anything about color theory? Well, guess how surprised I was when I saw how many different shades of red there were. Like, it's all red, but they're not all the same. And that's so cool! I didn't really realize how many differences there could be in one color. And as you can see from these swatches, I have a lot of colored pencils, more than I thought. Like, why do I have so many reds? I also want to mention that when Stabilo pens get old, they start to smell and they stink really bad. Like, my red one reeks. I'm only going to use it in a well-ventilated room because, my god, I can't handle that smell. Now that the swatches are done, I gave myself the liberty to sketch something off camera because honestly I didn't really know what I was going to do. So I took my time and thought about a few ideas. First, I sketched very roughly a girl sitting, and then I started to think about famous red characters that I knew. And one that came to mind was this person. Don't tell me that I'm going to pronounce her name wrong in a second. I know, but her name in Dutch is Pippi Langkous, and in English it's Pippi Longstocking. The problem is the sound's so similar, and if you just translate it from Dutch to English, it's a literal translation, so it's very difficult for me to say it, so I'm sorry. But screw it, here is how you're supposed to pronounce her name originally.
Pippi Longstrump.
But anyway, back to my drawing. As you saw, I had actually sketched the original one in normal graphite pencil on the back of the page, because then I could erase my mistakes way easier because I don't have an erasable red art supply. And after I was done with the graphite pencil, I just turned the page over and traced it on the other side of the page with the help of a window and some sunshine. And then I used all different kinds of liners that I had to outline her, and then I was stuck. I was too afraid to do anything because I had all these art supplies that I didn't really know how they would work together in a good way, and I was just too focused on messing up. And this is supposed to be fun. So I just took my first watercolor and used that for a skin, and after I had done that, I just played around with all the different materials that I had, hoping it would get something a little bit good. And here is where I need a better camera. I tried a burnishing technique in which, after you have done a couple layers of your colored pencil, you press really hard with one pencil to get a finishing layer on top. It isn't until the end that you can see it a little bit better because, oh boy, looking at this footage, it looks horrible. But all in all, this did taught me a couple things. I learned that sometimes you just need to start. And if you mess up, so what? You can always start again and maybe your mistakes aren't as bad as you thought it is. Just try. It doesn't really matter. I also learned that this challenge is very fun to do because you only have one color, so you need to be creative in order for it to not look flat. I don't know if I have achieved that, but I do know it made me think about all the different kinds of shades of red there are and how they all complement each other. And just how different one color can be. Oh, and the last thing that I learned? Drawing hands is hard. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you want to follow me on any of my social media, the links will be in the description down below. If you want to watch more of me, please consider subscribing. It would mean a lot to me. If you have any advice on how I could improve this picture, I'm sure there is a lot, so please leave your thoughts in the comments down below. And I hope I will see you in the next one. Bye!